family, friends, peers, whatever the case may be. Like, I get called crazy for doing the thing that I love, but shouldn't it be deemed crazy to do the thing that society tells you to do and ignore your dreams, ignore the thing that you actually love? So I never understood it. I will say that my mind wasn't always a beautiful place. I wouldn't wish it on anyone because it's not physical pain, but it's you can't escape yourself. People underestimate how much you can truly change your life in 365 days. And if you just give up 1 year of your life to really put it all into one thing, you're gonna live the life you've always dreamed of for the rest of your life. My mind is so powerful that it can convince me to fuck up an entire year of my life thinking that this fear is a real thing and attaching myself to it. Why can't I do the opposite?
Every creator has that turning point where they step into who they really are. For you, streamer, artist, entertainer, who is Jadyn Violet right now in this chapter of your life?
Man, I think there's been so many arcs of Jadyn Violet. I've been doing this for 6 years. I dropped out of college second semester in order to pursue my music. And I feel like every single year has been just a year of hard work, but at the end of every single year, I realized that that hard work is nothing compared to the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that. I think right now it's 2025, and I've been working as hard as I humanly possibly can. I think I'm the best mentally. I'm the best physically. I think if your physical health is good, your mental health is good. If your mental health is good, you could conquer the world. I think my mindset is at its peak, and I'm just very inspired, you know. I think there's been moments throughout the last couple of years in my creativity where I lost that inspiration, and I feel like, and I'm very grateful for it to be back in full flesh, and I'm just motivated to do a lot, to create a lot, to inspire people, and yeah.
Where does that inspiration come from? Because that's something that actually attracted me to you in the beginning, and that's why I reached out to you, because of the things you were talking about when I seen your clips, because of the motivation you were pushing and the mindset. You said physical health and mental health is really important to you, and I think that's something that a lot of people our age take for granted nowadays. Like, if your mental health is not where it needs to be, it's really hard to succeed and chase after your dreams. Where do you get that inspiration and that mental fortitude, I would say, to just keep going?
I think I was always like this, but I think in reality, everyone wants to be like this. You know, we were talking about it before, where if you ask any person in the, you know, in between the ages of 20 and 30, what do they want to do in life? 99% of the time, it's not going to be the thing they're doing right now. You know, whether they're working a corporate job, whether they're a banker, finance person, whatever it may be. You know, they do things because what society tells them to do. You know, they don't do things because it's truly what they want to do. When they were in high school, when they were in middle school, the teacher asks, "What's your dream?" And they say something, and they're doing something completely different. And I just never understood it. You know, I get called crazy all the time. Family, friends, peers, whatever the case may be. Like, I get called, you know, crazy for doing the thing that I love. But shouldn't it be deemed crazy to do the thing that society tells you to do and ignore your dreams, ignore the thing that you actually love? So I never understood it. I always felt like it was possible, but I never had an example, a tangible example of someone making it who I knew. And I just thought, like, you know, there was a point in time where I even thought making it was a facade. Like, you had to know someone, you know, in the industry in order to make it. You had to have money or, you know, have connections. But I thought, you know, why can't I be that example to show other people that it is possible? You know what I'm saying? For a brown person in New Jersey to make it as a musician, make it, you know, build a community that, you know, leads the next gen, whatever the case, you know, is. I don't live in fear. But if I did, one of my biggest fears would be, when I'm older, I want a lot of kids. But when I have a son, when I have a daughter, and they look up to me and they say, "Dad, like, I have a dream. Can I chase it?" You know, how could I say yes if I didn't chase my own dream? You know what I mean? Like, how could I say yes if I didn't, you know, go through the barriers and the hardships to make my dream become a reality? Like, how could I even say yes to that? How could I even give my son any advice at all? You know, so I need to do this for myself, of course, for my family, which, you know, is the thing that keeps me going, but for my future kid, if I'm being honest, right? So it's like, yeah, every day I don't wake up motivated. Every day I don't, you know, wake up feeling like I want to conquer the world, like I want to make music, like I want to start up my stream, but I have to do it, you know? And I have to, and I do it because I don't attach myself to my feelings, but yeah.
Definitely. And I could definitely relate to that point you made. It's actually insane because just the similarities we have in that mindset. I had a conversation with my friends about a year and a half ago now, and it was something very similar. I sat down with them and I'm just like, I want to have a beautiful family in the future, And how can I look at my kids, just like you said, and tell them, chase your dreams? How could I tell my kid, even just go to the gym, get stronger, if their father's not doing that? And it all starts now. When you're in your 20s, when you're in your teens, those habits, we see it day in and day out with our aunts, uncles, family members. When people hit 30, 40 and responsibilities go through the roof, people are just in such bad habits, they're really tough to break. So when you're not going to the gym, when you're not protecting your mental health, when you're not working on your dream, it's harder as you get older.
I think what I realized, bro, is that so many people say they want to do something and very few people actually do it. Even if it's something as simple as going to the gym, to the point where now I just turn a deaf ear to when people say they want to do something, they want to go to the gym, they want to start the stream, they want to start making music, because I just know how little amount of people actually have the initiative to do what they say. And it makes, people who actually do what they say so much more valuable, and I respect them so much more. There's so many people, all of my friends like, yo, we're going to get fit by the summer. You feel me? Like, yo, we're going to go to the pool and everyone's going to look at us, we're going to get fit by the summer. And I just laugh because it's like, bro, like, I want to hear you not say it, and I want to hear you actually in the gym. And I don't want to see you in the gym for a week or 2 weeks. I want to see you, be in the gym for a month, 2 months. I want to see you in the gym on the day where you don't want to be in the gym, because that's the day that actually matters, So yeah, I make promises to myself. I think you can never lie to yourself. I think you always know, if you're telling yourself the truth, and you just got to uphold it. Even if it's something as simple as saying like, yo, I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m., you have to wake up at 6 a.m. Because if you wake up at 6:10 a.m., intrinsically you're giving yourself an excuse to not do the things that you're supposed to do. So
It's just crazy listening to you speak, because I just started recording TikToks on my phone, and everything you're saying now, you could look on them in the past week, is something I talked about. And I literally made a video yesterday about how important making promises to yourself and keeping them is. I don't think people understand that, unless you're really chasing something and you realize, like, in the end of the day, nobody's coming to do the work for you. Nobody's coming to chase your dream for you. You said those days that you don't want to do it are the most important. Why do you think that?
I think keeping your promises to yourself is the backbone of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you have confidence and you have belief in yourself, you can take over the world, I think if you continuously make a promise to yourself, like I mentioned before, whether it's as simple as waking up at 6 a.m. or whether it's as crazy as saying that I'm going to stream every single day this year.
Mm-hmm.
If you say something and you do it, you believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, you're deaf to the outside world. You're deaf to outside perceptions, judgments, people saying that they don't believe in you, people hating on you. It doesn't affect you because you work so hard to build this mental castle that no rock, no pebble thrown at it could ever shatter it. And I think that's the purpose. That's the goal of life, to be finally free, but to be, so in tune with yourself that nothing from the outside could affect you. My next tattoo that I want to get is actually, it's going to be right here. Maybe I'll get it when I'm in LA, but I want it to be like an eye with needles surrounding it,
Mm-hmm.
just to explain to people that nothing from the outside can, affect you if you really, really believe in yourself. So yeah, I think pride is good. I think confidence is good. I think believing in yourself is good. I think, you thinking that you're the one is good, because it can only benefit you, right? And why not adopt the beliefs that's going to take you further in life?
100%. Does the audience know you said this to me before we started, you booked a one-way trip to LA. That might be completely insane to a lot of people on this world who might think, oh, this kid's going to fail. This kid can't do it. Why would he book a one-way trip? He doesn't have anything yet. But I could just tell in the conversation we have, I could tell in the videos I see from you, there's nothing but belief in you. You know you're going to do it. And we spoke about this a little bit earlier too. It doesn't matter if it happens tomorrow. It doesn't matter if it happens a year from now, 5 years from now. You know it's going to happen, and that's an important part.
This analogy has been told before, but it always sticks with me. Imagine if someone comes up to you, like a magician. A magician comes up to you and says, like, listen, like, this is a winning lottery ticket for $10 million. Like, you're going to have $10 million in your bank account. I'm going to give you this winning lottery ticket for $10 million. But I'm only going to give it to you December 31st at the end of the year. Like, you're only going to get to cash it in at the end of the year. How would you act on a day-to-day basis? You know, how would you feel when you wake up? Would you be discouraged because your video gets 400 views? Would you get discouraged because your music only has 200 streams? You wouldn't. Would you be discouraged, you know, if you only have $200 in your bank account? It's impossible, because you know that at the end of the year you made it. I think that's I think that's the entire idea of manifestation and affirmation and visualization. I think the entire idea of it is just the belief and knowing that it will work out and you will achieve your dream. So what, you know, for me at least, at the end of the day, I know that this shit is going to work out, whether it's my stream having 10,000 people or whether it's me performing in a stage filled with thousands of people singing my lyrics back to me. Like, I know it's going to work out, because what's the alternative? You know, me being, me doubting myself, me not knowing, like, how is that going to help me on a day-to-day basis? How is that going to help me, battle my discouragement? If I know it's going to happen, I'm going to wake up every single day and work super hard. In the days that, things aren't going my way, it's chill, because I know by then, at the end of the year, I'm going to have that $10 million to cash in. I'm going to have $10 million in my bank. So,
One specific word that actually pops into my mind as you speak, which is so powerful, is perspective. I think a lot of people in this world don't understand how important your perspective truly is. Because we talked a little bit about mental health, and everything you bring up is just the fortitude you have and the mental strength you do have. And your perspective is just insane. And I just have to give that a second and let the audience really take a second to understand. Having a positive perspective like that could change your entire life. The difference between waking up and doubting yourself compared to the difference of, like, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do this shit and nobody's going to stop me, is insane.
Dude, it's crazy, because I wasn't always like this. You know what I mean? Like, I always worked hard. Working hard and having ambition and drive was never my issue. Ever since I dropped out of my college, I knew that I'm going to have to work 10 times harder than everyone else in order to even be on the same level as them, let alone succeed. But I was always lacking this idea of belief, and I realized why things weren't working for me, in 2025. I think I always thought very linearly. I always thought, like, okay, the amount of hours, the input that I put in, that's the output that I'm going to get out, and I just have to work, and I just have to work hard, and I have to sacrifice, which is very true, but I was missing the whole other side, which is the knowing and the belief. And you really believe something, like, reality will bend to your will. And I know it sounds crazy, because every single time I heard, this stuff about manifestation and belief and perspective, I always thought, like, all right, whatever, bro. I'll just work hard and I'll get the stuff, But man, this year has been crazy, bro. This year has been crazy with me, like, not only working hard, but you need that other side of knowing something's going to happen, even if the world and the 3D is not showing you that. Like, even if the world is not showing you the things that you believe, the real world is inside your mind. And as long as you can create it inside of here, like, reality will show it to you, whether it's in a week, a month, or a year. You just have to stick to your belief. You can't contradict yourself, and it'll happen, bro. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Another point I want to go back to a little bit, which I also think is very important. I've learned personally, just working with other creators, you can't really be looking at the views. You said it yourself. It doesn't matter if you get 405. Like, this is your dream. Why would you stop just because 400 people viewed and you're feeling down on yourself? That's not a reason to stop. There's going to be life. I like to explain life as a roller coaster, but there's going to be a lot more downs than ups. So why stay down there? You only got to go up. So that's a point I just wanted to reiterate, because I think a lot of people who do want to become content creators focus way too much on the views.
I think what people got to realize is that your life, content creation, or just your life in general, is like a stock. It's like an ETF in the stock market, right? So, like, think about, like, VOO or something. Think about an ETF, right? It generally goes up, but it doesn't always go up. Apple doesn't always go up. Facebook doesn't always go up, Nvidia doesn't always go up. There's always dips. Right? There's always dips. There's always downturns, and then it goes up further. And then there's dips, and then there's dips, and then it goes up further, right? Like, life has its valleys and it has its peaks. You can never get too high on your own supply, when you're at a peak. You can never be super happy when things are happening for you. And you can never be too down on yourself, when things aren't going your way. I think both are important. I think you got to be stable. And, like I mentioned before, the real world's inside your mind. So as long as you're good inside of here, nothing from the outside could ever affect you,
There's a lot of noise online. How do you make sure to stay true to yourself and stay authentic without giving in to all that noise?
I think that the moments where I'm most dialed in is when I'm deaf to the outside world. You know, when I'm attracted to social feeds, when I'm scrolling through the For You page aimlessly, I'm always at my worst self. You know, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not like locked in, quote unquote. I'm not tunnel vision when I'm, you know, open to outside noise. So what I do, like, I just don't scroll the For You page. You know what I mean?
Really?
I really, really don't, bro. Like, I don't, you know, like I don't go on my phone before I go to sleep. I haven't done that for like 2 years. It's crazy how people do that because
Mm-hmm.
it's like the number one thing that will like really help you a lot. And I use another comparison. If I'm trying to eat healthy, like why the fuck would I have donuts in my kitchen? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like if I'm trying to eat healthy, why would I have cookies in my cabinet? Like it doesn't even make sense. So it's like if I want to stay away from comparison, if I want to stay away from the noise in the outside world, why would I even open up the For You page, right? Why even
Mm-hmm.
open my mind up to the negative stuff? Up to the idea of comparison. Like I just don't even go on the For You page. I just don't have donuts in my kitchen. Then I'm gonna be healthy. I'm gonna be good. You know?
That's an interesting way to think about it. I've never put it into that view, but now that you say it, it does make a lot of sense. And even with Instagram, like I have a younger sister, and I think social media hurts a lot more women than men nowadays because I've seen it since high school. Girls just compare themselves to other people all the time. But now, once you're out of high school and you turn into a young man, I see a lot of people in their 20s comparing them like, wow, I don't have the Lambo yet. I'm not in the penthouse in Brickell. And that really gets to a lot of people and discourages them from ever even trying because they're
Mm.
like, I'm so far away already. How could I ever make it? So putting it into that viewpoint is really interesting. And I might have to try because I'm not going to lie.
You
Late
scroll?
night,
You scroll your For
yeah,
You
I
page?
scroll,
Ah man.
Yeah, that's my one bad habit. I'm not gonna lie. It's either
Yeah.
it's either sitting on the toilet or before I go to sleep, and I know it's terrible, but it's
Yeah.
like my 1 second I take out of the day to just relax. But it's definitely not relaxing. It's straining my eyes, and it just my mind keeps racing because it keeps giving me more and more ideas. Like I have the most ideas at night, late at night, but it's
Same.
because my mind is just so super active and seeing other videos and stuff.
Yeah.
But
It's what I usually do. Like me too, bro. I have most
mhm,
of the ideas at night. Um, and I know when I'm really locked in. Like when I have these days, and like I have these days a lot where it's like I'm going to sleep and I close my eyes, but I have my phone on my notes, like right here. Like you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But it's like it's shut down and I'm closing. I'm like I'm trying to sleep, but like I'm actively thinking of ideas. Like I'm actively brainstorming, and then something pops into my mind. I open my eyes, I go on my phone, I type in my notes, I close it, and then I try sleeping again until the next idea pops up. I'm like, oh shit, and I do this, and I keep doing that until I go to sleep. And it's like I do that a lot, and
yeah.
those ideas are so gas sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like something about just like nighttime. I don't know what it is.
Me either. I literally there's been so many nights where I just sit up and keep myself up thinking of what I could achieve, what I could do, ideas on videos. One thing I did stop doing, since I'm in podcasting, I rarely watch YouTube anymore
Okay.
because I was talking to somebody else about this. It was Jimmy. I had him on as a guest, and I feel like with people with us, we're just too crazy about content. We're too crazy
Mm.
about the stuff we love. So if I watch YouTube videos, instead of watching it and enjoying it and taking it as entertainment, I'm breaking down everything in the video.
Mm-hmm.
How could I implement it in my video? What did they do good? What did they do bad? Like, what can I take from this? And it just, I can't relax. I'm like, dude,
Mm.
I used to go to watch videos to relax for 10, 15 minutes, however long the video was.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm listening to other creators. I'm listening to other podcasters. What did he say well? What transitions did he do? And I'll drive myself insane.
Yeah, bro. It's difficult. I think like our minds are way more powerful than we can
Mm-hmm.
ever imagine. Our bodies are way more physically capable than we can ever imagine, right? You're working 14 hours in a day, whether it's making music, being in a studio, clipping up your stuff, like making content, like
Mm-hmm.
you can go longer. Your body can tell you you're tired, but you can go longer. Like you can always work harder. Like you'll be surprised at what you're capable of as a human. But same thing with your mind and what you can create. What you can create insane images, insane ideas, insane creations
Mm-hmm.
without needing to look at anything that's happening on social media or the outside world. Like, but I think a lot of people struggle with ideas because they don't sit down and take the time to be bored.
Yeah.
You know, people have such a short attention spans. Like, literally just try sitting down like for 30 minutes and you'll like see like whether your mind is good, whether it's fucked, or whether you're chilling. Because like you're like, let me just go on my phone, like let me just like, you know what I'm saying, and scroll and like, but like, you know, you're good like when you can just sit there and zen and like really just think and explore your mind, explore your thoughts. And it's a beautiful place to be, but it takes some time to get there, you know.
Yeah, and to bounce off of that, I think for a lot of people, I could say this also for myself earlier on, it's a beautiful place once you make it a beautiful place. Because for some people, it might be a really scary place. You know what I mean? When they're all alone, when all the noise is gone and they're by themselves and they have to face all their fears, face all the problems they've been avoiding, whether it's avoiding them through exercise, avoiding them through drugs. Because I know a lot of people who they're bored and the first thing they do is pick up a nicotine pen or pick up a weed pen. And I tell people all the time, man, weed is like the killer of all dreams. Like, if you're already active and you're on top of your shit and you have a steady schedule and systems in place, I don't judge anybody who does it. Go for it. I respect everybody. But if you're in your parents' house, you want more out of your life, and you want to actually achieve something great, and you're smoking every day, dude, what are you doing? You know? It doesn't make any sense to me. So I look at it as like, people are scared to face themselves and be alone. But since you're doing great things and you have great systems in place, you defined it as a beautiful place. I just wanted to give the other side of it, see what you thought about that.
I will say that my mind wasn't always a beautiful place. It's probably been 4 years at this point, maybe 3 years. I'm not sure, but my mind was a terrible place, bro. Like, my mind was like, if anyone knows what like intrusive thoughts are, it's like mental OCD. If you know what that is, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it's like the worst thing that you could, in my opinion, like I wouldn't wish it on anyone, because it's like, it's not physical pain, but it's like you can't escape yourself.
Yeah.
You feel me? So it's like you're always thinking about, and I'm like, you know, for everyone who's dealing with intrusive thoughts, you're thinking about different things, but like you're thinking about something that is so completely untrue, but your mind tricks you into thinking that it's true, you know? And like you're so fixated on this insanely fearful idea that like you can't stop thinking about it. And the more you try not thinking about it, the more your mind like attaches yourself to that idea. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like you can't, and bro, like I went through this for like a year, like a year of not being able to like get out of this, bro. And like the word, like I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? Like I literally couldn't get out of it. And I thought I was never going to get out of it. I was so down bad, bro, that I was looking at like Reddit forums to see like who else was going through the same thing that I was going through, to like figure out like who got out of it and stuff. But you know, at the end of the day, I did get out of it. You know what I'm saying? I did get out of it. I worked hard, and I chased my dream, and you know, it faded into non-existence. And if I could, one, you know, say that I did get out of it, if anyone is going through it, like I got out, you know what I'm saying? And I just wanted someone to say that, you know, they got out, so I have belief that I can get out. So I did get out. But the other thing is like, man, if my mind is so powerful that it can convince me to fuck up an entire year of my life thinking that this fear is a real thing and attaching myself to it, why can't I do the opposite?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why can't I convince myself that I'm the greatest person ever, that I can achieve all my dreams, that I can pay off my mom's crib? Like, why can't I convince myself to really believe that I'm the one? If I could do it for the negative side, why can't I do it for the positive side? And it's really rewiring your brain and knowing yourself to understand that, yo, your mind could be, you know, the worst thing that ever existed, or it could be the best thing that ever existed too. I'm very happy to be on the other side of that right now, you know?
Yeah, and I could completely agree with that point. I wanted to ask though, what steps did you take to get out of it? Was there anything specific you did? Did you start off slow? Did you just jump into it? What changed?
You know, it's someone asked me this the other day in my stream too, and I wish I can give a concrete answer, like a step-by-step process, but it truly is different for every single person. I just remember, like, I like have that part like so shut off, like I don't even identify it. Like it was a different person, you know what I mean? So it's like hard to re-enter that and figure it out. But I just remember like every day being so terrible. Waking up, it was terrible. Go to sleep, terrible. Waking up, terrible. Like it was just so bad, to the point where like it ruined my relationships and stuff. But I remember like, I think it was just passion for music, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it was just like, I've really decided to, and I was already chasing my dream for music, but I've really decided to like reignite that passion for music and really dive deep into it and really lock in and do it. I stopped smoking a little too. You know what I mean? that was bringing a lot of it out, and I kept doing it for some reason. So I stopped, and I decided to just let my passion take over. I wish I can give like a better answer, but like you'll get out eventually. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that's what it's funny you said you stopped smoking, because just going back to that, it's because I personally experienced it in my own life. You know what I mean? Seeing it through my friends, seeing it even with myself at times. Like, it just, if you're in a good position, like I said, and you're smoking and you think you're okay with it, that's fine. But if you're in a bad position, that's probably one of the first things you do need to stop, because it's going to get you in a place where you're just comfortable staying, you know, where it's like, okay, things don't feel as bad as they really are. It's more like face your fears head on. And you have to be sober while doing it, realistically. Like, you can't be intoxicated in any form of the way. And like,
yeah.
you'll realize how strong your mind really is. Because if you're able to get over that, like you said earlier, if you're able to get past your own mind, and instead of being so negative and being pretty much your number one hater, become your number one supporter, and you'll see how far you could really take it.
Yeah, man. Your ego could be on your side. You know, why have that person be the worst enemy ever? Like, it could literally be on your side, and you can be good. And another thing that I will say, like you said, stop smoking and stuff. If you know yourself, you know yourself. If you can smoke and you can still do everything, you're good. Like, you know yourself. But
exactly.
Another thing I will say is, like, you just got to go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to go to the gym. Like, getting into like the gym, but more importantly, martial arts was probably the best thing that I've ever done for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, Conor McGregor said that, you know, the gym is the best medicine. It really is, bro. And it's like, I feel myself mentally declining when I'm not going to the gym. If you're ever like sad or you're messed up mentally in any way, shape, or form, like, just go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? Just go to the gym every single day, and like 9 times out of 10 in 2 months you'll be good. You feel me?
So what kind of martial arts did you start doing?
I've done a couple. I've done BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, boxing, but I would like to say that I'm like, my shit is Muay Thai. That's my favorite, and that's what I've like trained heavily, you know? So
yeah, it's amazing. My favorite. We might have to take some classes together, because that would be sick.
I would love to. The issue is, bro, is that there's no like at least that I know of, there's no good places in New Jersey. I went out of the country to learn like how to train Muay Thai, and it was like the best experience in the entire world. It changed my perspective on a lot. I came back and I still train every week, but like, it's not as good as outside, you know?
Where did you go? What country?
I went to Thailand, and I went to a couple other places around there, but yeah, I went to Thailand.
I was gonna say Thailand's the number one spot I see people train Muay Thai, and it looks like an amazing experience.
It's a beautiful culture, bro. Like, I learned how to speak Thai as well, and I got to become friends with a lot of Thai fighters there.
Yeah.
And I got to train with them, sleep in the same, you know, living space, wake up in the morning, run with them, and just 6 hours every single day hammering at it. And it was weird, bro, because I put a pause on my dreams for about a year to do this. This was literally last year. You know, I put a pause on my dreams to do this, and people could say that was not smart because, you know, you're taking a step back. But if I'm elevating myself as an actual human, you know, mentally, physically, and everything, I'm going to be able to come back, you know, which I did in 2025, and do way better because I'm on a different playing field, you know?
Yeah.
But Thai people are beautiful, bro. Like, they're some of the nicest, down-to-earth humans in the entire planet. And I love it there. Same thing with Japanese people, Indonesian people, all of them, like, have, like, my heart, bro. It's fire.
It's just a beautiful part of the world. I haven't got the chance to travel there, but the few videos I do see, it looks breathtaking.
You'll realize how different Eastern culture and Western culture really is. Like, I always heard about it on social media, but I never really understood it until I immersed myself there and I lived there.
Yeah.
Because over there, things aren't about status or who you know or how many followers you have or vanity metrics. Things are quite literally about living. You know, and then you start to think, you know, you come back to this capitalistic society in America, you start to think that everyone's in this rat race and everyone's trying to, you know, make more money, gain more followers, gain more influence. But it's like, you know, at the end of the day, if, you know, you can go to Southeast Asia and literally be happy being alive, you know, and no one's playing this game. Everyone is just happy with themselves. They're content. They're smiling every single day. You start to think, like, what's the point of everything? You know what I mean? What's the point of life? Is the point to, you know, climb up this societal ladder, you know, and say that you've built a legacy? Or is the point to literally just live, you know? And I got to see both sides, and, you know, I'm still figuring that out every single day. But it was a beautiful perspective, bro. It was like, you should go. It's fire.
Yeah, it seems eye-opening. I definitely want to make a trip out there because it's funny you bring this up. When I was younger, I never wanted to travel. And it wasn't until 2017 I took a trip to Peru
Oh,
to
sick.
help build a school. And dude, the cultural difference, like you said, when you go to a place and people are just happy living, like the kids had to walk 24 hours to make it to school. And sometimes you see where my school was at high school at that point. Like sometimes I'd be mad and upset that I need to walk to school or get up for school. And I took so many things for granted. And like you said, people over here are just so worried about how much money they can make, how many followers they could have, about things that when I traveled over there just didn't matter. They were just happy they could get another meal. They were happy that people were helping them build a school. Like it was just such a big cultural difference that woke me up, and I'm like, dude, I need to travel the entire world.
Yeah. I always wanted to travel and I never did because I always pushed it back. I'm like, oh, it's gonna fuck up my music career and stuff. Oh, it's like I don't have enough money, blah blah. I'll wait next year, next year, next year. And I'm like, bro, like what? I'm gonna keep saying next year until I'm 50 years old and I have nothing, I have no experience. And like, if you want to change the way you think, if you want to change the way you view your world or how you work, like the best thing you can do is change the things you're experiencing on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
If you're living the same day every single day, you can't change. It's literally the definition of insanity, right? Repeating the same thing, expecting for something to be different. And I had to just switch it up. I was tired of being in New Jersey. I knew I needed to get a better understanding of just everything in general. And similarly, like LA, I just booked a ticket. In 2 weeks, I was in Thailand.
Are you excited to go to LA?
I'm excited, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not scared, a little nervous, anxious, yeah, maybe, but I'm excited, bro. I'm excited because at the end of the day, I think like when you have a decision to make, right? And this was my decision for the last 2 weeks. I was like, okay, go to LA or stay in New Jersey. Like I have a decision, right? And like a lot of people struggle with decision making. The one that you're more unsure of, the one that seems a little bit more unclear or gets you a little nervous is usually the right decision, because worst case, even if logistically speaking or logically, I would say like it's not the right decision, if it makes you nervous, you'll grow from it and you'll learn from it, and like that's the whole point of life, it's to grow as a person, it's to learn, it's to elevate. So yeah, even if it's technically not the right decision, I think it's the right decision because I'm more like nervous doing it.
One thing that I hear from that is you're not afraid to fail. How important is that in the journey you've been on and the journey you're continuing to create?
I think if I decided I wanted to make music when I was 17, when I first made my first song, and I made it when I was 18,
Yeah.
I just wouldn't have any pride in that. I wouldn't have any belief in myself. I wouldn't have any knowing in who I am if I got it super easily. I think of my life as a character in a movie,
Yeah.
and every single character, every single hero, if you want to call it that, goes through hardships. And I feel like you can't be the best possible version of yourself without going through barriers, roadblocks, and difficulties. I feel like you need it. And I feel like the best men and women, like the best people in general, are the people that have hit rock bottom, went through tough stuff, and then still are able to come out on top because of that. And I feel like if I had to pick my perfect life, it wouldn't be making it off of my first day or my first year. It would be, me failing for 5 years, 6 years, and then finally getting everything that I've ever wanted. And then, coming to my mom, paying off her crib, and she's gonna be like, damn, you really did it, 6 long years, but you really did it. And I'm like, yeah, I did. And like, I don't know, me just saying like I did after all of that failure is gonna mean so much more, and I'm patient. I'm a patient guy. So like, I'll wait for it,
Yeah, and I gotta say, that sounds, I don't even know how to put it into words. Like, that is, excuse me, that's just amazing, honestly. Because I listen to a lot of people try to chase something, and one thing they aren't is patient. That's a big difference between the people I've seen succeed, some of the entrepreneurs I've had on here succeed. They're ready to go all in for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Like, it never matters how long it takes. And they understand that the thing they want to build is so great, it's not going to take a few months. It's not going to happen in a few days. Like, it's going to take years of constant work and constant failure to get to. And that is just something I want the audience to really, like, lock in on, because even when I was young, I thought, damn, if I don't make it by 19, if I don't make it by 20, if I don't make it by 21, I failed, which is a complete lie.
Yeah, it is. It sucks, man. You know, I'm 24. I could easily go down the belief that, man, I'm too old to do music. I'm too old to stream and stuff. But it's like that identity doesn't benefit me at all, you know? And like for me, bro, it all comes down to identity. It all comes to what belief I'm going to adopt to benefit me. A lot of people say, like, for example, how do you not burn out? You know what I mean? Like, how do you not burn out? Like, you're working so hard every single day. How do you not burn out? You're streaming every single day. I can't burn out if I don't believe in burning out. Like, I
Yeah.
can't even feel mental fatigue if I don't believe in burning out. You know, I'll just keep going. Like, it's not even in my dictionary. If it's not in my dictionary, I can never feel it because I don't believe in it. You
Yeah.
know, it's the identity you choose, and you know, if you want to say that, man, statistically only 1% of people make it. Statistically, you know, 1 out of 1 million people become millionaires. I bet that's your belief. Why would I adopt a belief of a loser? You know what I'm saying? Why would
Yeah.
I adopt the belief of someone who thinks they can't do it? You know, I'll just believe that I'm a part of that 1%. Of course, I'm a part of that 1%. Of course, I'm going to make it, you know, even if, you know, realistically, that's not the right choice, but it's going to be the choice that benefits me every single day. So why wouldn't I adopt it, you know? So
Definitely. What do you think is the hardest truth about being a creator that nobody talks about?
I think being a creative, you need to stay inspired in order to inspire people, you know? It kind of touches on the thing that I mentioned before, where it was a point in time, bro, where I was in Jersey and I was making music. Like I'm a musician first and foremost, and I was making music every single day. And it got to the point where like I was not being inspired by my own music, you know? So it's like if I'm not inspired by my own music, I know for a fact other people aren't. By my art, by the way that I talk, by like the community that I'm building, right? And I needed new experiences. You know what I'm saying? At the end of
Yeah.
the day, bro, like experiences turns into art. Art is the thing that's going to inspire people. If your experiences are stale, your art is going to be stale and then nothing's going to happen for you. It's kind of what influenced my decision to move out of the country, you know, and go to Thailand, Japan and all of those places. It was like, okay, I need new inspiration. And I think like in order to do that, you need to step out your comfort zone. Um and yeah, I would say that, you know.
Yeah, it's funny you say stepping out your comfort zone because it's something I tell my personal friends around me. We spoke about it too before we started it, but I said I always wanted all my friends to stream. I always wanted all my friends to do content, and they just didn't. And then there was a point where I would sit around, honestly, so many years, but I'd sit around and be like, oh, my friends aren't doing it, so I can't start. And I would always look on somebody else to lean on. And then one day I woke up and I'm like, why can't I be that person other people lean on? Why can't I be the person motivating them to start, motivating them to do it? And that's why I started my podcast, even though at the time I was genuinely at one of the lowest points in my life and I did not believe in myself, and it took a lot for me to even get started. I said this is probably the best time because now I'm on the other side of things and I'm like, dude, I can't believe that kid who started over a year ago now is like where I am today.
Yeah. And for those listening, that this is one of the best podcast studios I've ever seen.
Thank
You know
you,
what I
bro.
mean? This
Thank
is
you.
very cool, very dope to be here. And yeah, I think the more you lean into the crazy, the more you realize that what you're doing is not actually crazy, and the people that are not leaning into the crazy are actually the crazy ones. You know, I remember everyone calling me crazy when I wanted to start making music. You know, I was literally in classrooms where people were playing my songs. Granted, they were, you know, trash back then, right? But they were playing my music, making fun of it, saying like, "Oh, he's trying to be a rapper during the SoundCloud era. Oh my God, this Indian boy's trying to make music, blah blah blah." You know, they call me crazy then. They call me crazy when I wanted to drop out of college. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
Yeah.
why would you want to drop out? Like, you know, you're doing good. Like, why would you blah 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 blah? Worst decision you can make. We came all the way to India for you to have a better life. You're dropping out. I dropped out of college. You know what I'm saying? Most people say, "Oh, why are you going to Asia to learn how to fight? That's the craziest thing ever. Why not just go to a boxing gym in New Jersey?" I did that. Why are you going to LA? Why are you doing a one-way ticket? I'm gonna do that. The more you do it, the more you realize like, wow, leaning into the crazy, leaning into what 99% of people say is the bad choice is actually the good choice, because that's the thing that's leading me to my dream life, you know?
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, bro, once we have millions of dollars, we're financially free, doing the thing that we love, and we retire our family and we're good, like no one could tell you anything. And then all the people that were casting doubt on you and saying, you know, you're insane for doing the things that you're doing, they're going to look at you with envy, because they're like, man, only if I started too. You feel me? So, yeah.
I'm just laughing because it's so funny you say that because it's literally we have so many similarities. I recorded a video the other day talking about the same thing, and it's because I feel like we went through it in our own lives. We were at a point where we might have not had that belief, might have not been able to go over the hump of like, all right, this person might judge me for this or that. But once you get over that point and once you just say, fuck it, like, I'm going to do it and I'm going to succeed regardless of what anybody else thinks, because I know who I am and I know what I'm creating and I believe in my content. I believe in my music, whatever it is you're chasing. It's a different part of life. Like, life just opens up to you. You see the whole world open up to you. And it's like, it's almost like playing a video game. Like, I tell people all the time, like, people waste their times on playing video games. I play video games too. I don't think it's a waste of time because I use it to unwind. But why not level up in real life? Like, why not look at yourself as a video game character and every day try to improve on the best aspects of yourself and improve on your passions? I don't know.
People watch movies for a dopamine rush without realizing that their life could be a movie every single day. You know,
Yeah.
I used to watch YouTube videos of my favorite creators, and I used to watch them having so much fun, bro. Like, even like the Phase guys, you know, because I'm streaming right now. Like, they're having so much fun, bro. They're together, like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, man, like, I want to do that too. Like, but it's like I'm spending my time watching them live off their dream, you know, live their dream. Meanwhile, I could be doing those things if I just really just, you know, put my phone down and put the work in, you know? I really believe, bro, life could be a movie. I really believe, like, these crazy movies we watch that, like, are like, wow, this is, like, insane. Like, I feel like we could do that. Like, I feel like our life could be like that every single day, you know? And I just, I don't know, I just really believe that, you know?
No, definitely. And I agree 100% with you. There's really, this is what I try to explain to the audience as much as possible. The people around me and people that know me in real life, like, they completely understand, because it was something I said to you earlier too. Like, I wasn't really on social media prior to starting this. I was more of a quiet person. And honestly, when I'm out and about, like, people probably don't even know I talk. I just stick to myself for the most part. So it's funny to see me hop on a podcast and talk for 2 hours with somebody, 3 hours, and do this and put myself out there. So I started it in the beginning just to prove a point to my close friends and the audience. It's like, if I could do it, you could do it too. There's no reason. Like, I want people to look at my life just like that, like a movie. Like, you know what I mean? I want to feel like my life isn't even real because of all the great things I'm able to experience. And honestly, I'm getting to that point closer and closer every day, because just through the people I'm meeting, like, if you asked me a year ago, prior to me starting the podcast, if I'd be sitting in front of you, I would have said, hell no. Like, there's no chance in hell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, the opportunities, the people I've got to meet, my network just keeps growing day and day. It's actually insane. Like, I'm going to start vlogging soon. It's something I've always wanted to do. But vlogging is going to be an opportunity for the audience to pretty much see my life as I live it, which is going to be a cool experience.
That's very cool. Are you going to post it on YouTube too?
Yeah.
Sick, bro. It's just cool to, like, be around people that are trying to do something. You feel me? And it's like, you can never hate on someone for trying. I feel like trying is the coolest thing in the world. You know what I mean? I feel like
Yeah.
everyone, you know, has something right now that they want to try, whether it's like modeling, DJing, you know, whatever. Like, it sounds crazy, but, like, just seeing people try stuff, bro, is, like, insanely sick. You feel me? It makes me happy. So
Yeah, and once again, I completely agree, because when I was a little bit younger and I didn't really have much going on in my life and I wasn't trying, I was genuinely hating on people who were trying. I was like, what, this guy's a clown. What the heck is he doing? But now that I'm trying, now that I see how difficult it is to do it for yourself, dude, when I see somebody I know from my hometown and they're recording a video in the gym or they're doing it, I go up to them, I'm like, bro, keep going. Like, it's sick you're trying. I know how hard it is to just get started. So the fact that they're even attempting it, keep going. Because I know so many people, and you definitely do too, who have that Instagram that they started recording videos in the gym that got to 50 followers and then they never posted again. Like,
yeah, bro, I know.
Where would they have been if they just kept posting? You know what I mean? There's those people that they just stop trying for some reason. So I literally commend everybody who starts and then continues with it. And I try to motivate, don't worry about that. I try to motivate everybody who even begins it, because like I said, it is just so difficult to start.
I think there's no difference between us and the people that we put on pedestals, right? Whether it's someone as insane as, you know, Jeff Bezos, or whether it's someone as talented as Drake. You feel me? Like, I think there's no difference. You know, I don't think any single human is godlike. I think if they could do it, you can too. And the only thing differentiating you from the people that you want to be is the days of consistency in between, and that's it. You know, so I live by that. I live by the line, why not you? Because why not you, bro? Like, why can't you be the one that people look up to? Why can't you be the one that, achieves, your dreams? I think anyone can do it, literally.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, what originally got you started in streaming?
So I've been making music for 6 years.
Yeah.
And what I've realized, I guess if we want to get a little technical, that the way to build sustainability off of the thing you love is by building a brand around yourself and building a community, which is very, very important. I think a lot of people who do something, whether it's painting, music, whatever the case may be, they view that as the entire tree. Meanwhile, it's a branch because you are the tree at the end of the day, right? You think about someone like, Travis Scott. People like him for his music, but they can also like him for his fashion and the sneakers he puts out. I think if you want sustainability in doing the thing you love, you need to focus on building a community. I've done that for 2 years on Twitter, actually, which I don't talk about a lot. I don't know if have you heard of Twitter Spaces?
I'm not too familiar. I actually just started using Twitter for the first time in my life, like 2 months ago.
It's sick. It's a whole other ballpark. But Twitter Spaces are basically like these chat rooms where there's a host, co-host, speakers, and listeners.
Okay.
And you can make a Twitter Space about anything. You can make it about 2K. You can make it about music. So I was doing it about music, And I was hosting it every single day for 2 years to the point where we built a very good community. We called it Underground Violet Rave. My name's Jadyn Violet, so the community's Underground Violet Rave. We actually ended up hosting the Underground Violet Rave event in 8 different cities around the country.
Wow.
So we did one in New York. Well, we did 3 in New York, 2 in Miami Art Basel, 1 in LA, 1 in Virginia, Cincinnati, all over, like building this community and bringing the community in real life. And then I went to Asia for a year and I lost that entire community,
Yeah.
And I was really down on myself in Asia, bro. I was like, man, like I had it. You know what I'm saying? Like I had it. I built this community. Like I felt myself like almost over the top. Like, like it was almost there. And I left and I lost it all. And I was really down on myself, bro. And like I always looked at streaming as the thing where like I think there's so much potential when it comes to like growing your community, growing for me my music. And I never did it because I'm like I know how much effort it took to grow my Twitter. I know how many days I did a Twitter Space every single day for 2 years. I know how much time that took. I'm like, man, like I really just didn't want to do it again. You feel me? But what I realized, bro, is like if you had the sauce once, you always have it. You just got to find that shit in the fridge. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, I had to go searching, bro, and I found it and I decided that it's only going to work, for me to rebuild the entire Underground Violet Rave UVR community from ground zero, day one. It was only going to work if I really committed to streaming. And I decided to open up my Twitch account January 1st, 2025. I told myself I'm going to stream every single day this year. And, we're on day 200 right now. So.
Congratulations, bro. You've been going crazy.
Thank you, bro.
And I don't think people really understand what 200 days in a row is. Like, 200 days in a row of anything is difficult, especially streaming. Especially, I could only imagine in the beginning days where there wasn't that many views, where there wasn't that many people supporting you. Now, I don't know if it's changed for you at all just because of a little notoriety, more clips, getting more views. Maybe your friends start saying, oh, bro, you could do it compared to January where they were like, what the hell are you doing? You're crazy. And I see it all the time. But I also wanted to ask, if your younger self were sitting right next to you, what would they think of the person they see right now?
I think they would be very proud, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I think they would be proud because I didn't give up. You feel me? I'm staying true to my dream. I think dreams die with age if you let them. I think so many people that I went to high school with, that I went to college with, had dreams. And as they grew older, they started to be quote unquote realistic. They started to fall into societal norms and they gave up on them. You feel me? And I think the older you get, the more you got to hold on to dear life to the thing that you really love. You know what I'm saying? And I love making music. And I'm very happy. And I think my younger self would be very happy that I still to this day didn't give it up. In fact, have, more belief than I ever had that this year it will work out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think he'd be proud, bro, that I'm continuing and that I just have this, this mindset right now.
What would be your advice to him in that moment? Let's say you're 14 years old. and life is just life as a 14-year-old. Not much going on. You're just like going through puberty, starting to grow up, starting to mentally develop more, but you want to chase a lot, and you don't even know what life's about to throw at you.
I would say get into martial arts earlier,
Yeah.
for sure. That has given me the discipline unlike any other. Like, definitely start to learn how to fight as early as you possibly can. And I would say that, things that people lean into in life, whether it's parties, alcohol, girls, it's always there. You feel me? Weekends, they're always there. Trips, they're always there. Having fun, quote unquote, oh, you need balance, in life, you need balance. It's always there. You feel me? Whether you're 15, 20, 25, 30. I think people underestimate how much you can truly change your life in 365 days. And if you just give up 1 year of your life to really put it all into one thing, you're going to live the life you've always dreamed of for the rest of your life. Every single year, I knew this, but I was like, it's the weekend, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I can have fun. I can go to the club with my friends and stuff. It's like, bro, 1 year, bro. All you need is 1 year. 1 year, bro. 365 days, just giving up everything, giving up all your vices, giving up all the distractions. And bro, the rest of your life is going to change forever. You feel me? So, yeah.
Once again, I could completely agree on that because I actually went through that stage, I would say, last year. But for me, it was honestly pretty difficult in the moment, like anybody else. When you've just built up habits of doing certain things, it's hard to get out of those habits. And for me, at the moment, when my friends were going out, when they were going down the shore, when they were taking vacations and stuff, and I just knew I genuinely couldn't, and I had to focus on my craft, it was hard for me because I'm like, this is the first year that I can't do any of this. But I knew it was for a bigger cause. I knew it was for my dreams, and they might have been making fun of me at the time, like, oh, let's say I didn't have enough money, like, you're too broke to do this, you're chasing something that's so dumb. To me, it's funny now because I'm on the other side of things. Even though I don't have a big following or anything, I've just built a platform that I'm proud of, and I know where I'm going to take it. It's like, it's funny to me now because now they look at me and they're like, dude, I wish I started. Dude, I wish I did it with you. Things like that, and it's just funny to be on the other side.
I think in order to get to where you want to go, you have to make sacrifices. You feel me? You can't have best of both worlds. And in order to get the things that the 1% of people have, you got to do, what the 1% of people do. You can't do what 99% of people do in order to have what 1% of the people have. You feel me? Like, you have to make sacrifices. Like, sometimes you have to, say no to a family event, even though it sucks. Sometimes you have to, cut off friends because, they'll invite you to go out 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. And then, the 4th time, they're just not going to hit your phone anymore because they realize, you're just going to say no. You feel me?
Yeah.
And that no is very important. You got to say no a lot of the times. You know what you got to do. You know what's going to benefit your dream. And if you have less fun, you know what I'm saying? This is why it's hard. You feel me? If it was easy, everyone would do it.
Yeah.
So.
Do you think nowadays it's easier just because there's not as many people willing to work as hard as you?
I think so. I think the world got soft.
Yeah.
I used to be like that, I used to care about my feelings, you feel me? I used to care about my emotions. I used to want to be happy, you feel me? Like, I used to chase that happiness I used to have as a kid, and I was like, if I keep working on my, like, I can be happy every single day. Like, I remember thinking like that. Like, I was like, I need to be happy, and like,
Yeah.
it's an illusion, you know what I mean? Like, happiness, it's an illusion. Like, you got to do the things you're supposed to do regardless of how you feel. Doesn't mean I'm depressed every single day, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean like I'm like I hate myself. No, like, bro, like, I'm, I have fun and, like, with myself. I love the thing that I do, but yeah, I don't attach myself to my feelings. I could feel extremely discouraged and my hands will still move. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, my hands will literally physically still move. I keep them moving. I keep them moving. I can deal with comparison, all that. My hands just keep moving, So I'll get the same amount of work done on my worst days as if, I'm the happiest person in the world.
That's actually amazing to hear because that was something I had to learn over time and just effort and pretty much trial and error. Because anytime, let's say I was down and out, I would take time just sitting in bed overwhelmed about the things I need to do, and now I'm at the point where like I could be overwhelmed, but it's no longer in bed. It's out there working, it's editing, it's emails, it's whatever I have to get that. Like I schedule my days, and I've built already systems in place where I know what I have to do and I know what I have to execute on. Like you said, it doesn't matter how I feel. I know I'm getting the work done. You know?
I know how it feels too, bro. Like I know, like, you know, you have like a bad moment happen, you're overwhelmed, like you just want to like, you know, hit your pen, open up Netflix, you feel me, watch Prison Break, or do whatever you want to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you just want to, you know, and then while you're at it, you hit the pen, you're watching Prison Break, you might as well just DoorDash some beat-ups. You feel me? You might as well at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you just like you just go down, 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 and it's like, yeah, you just gotta shake it off.
If tomorrow everything was gone, your audience, your streams, your listeners, what would you do to start over again?
I would work 10 times harder. I would work way harder.
Really?
It would motivate me so much, bro. I talked about this on a stream about a week ago, so I'll give you the brief version. But there's a point in time where I was in crypto. I was selling my art and my music in the form of crypto. It was a really cool, you know, point in time. I felt like it was like a art like revolution, you know, that had a lot of potential. But I was doing that, and long story short, I made 10 bands. You know, like doing that. It was in the span of 2 years. It was the most amount of money I've made in my music, and I opened my crypto wallet one day, and the 10 bands was gone, bro. 10,000 drained from my wallet, all gone, bro. It was the first time I, you know, called my mom, and I could, you know, really feel like she felt bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was like, damn, like I know you worked for that, and it's gone, you know? And I was sad, you know. I was furious, you know. I let that sadness consume me for a day, nothing more. I went to sleep, I woke up, and I worked 10 times harder. You know what I mean? I said, I bet, like, this is what I needed in order to really take me to the next level, you know? Because the next time, I'm not going to make 10 bands, I'm going to make 100. I'm going to make 1 million, and I'm going to keep going. You feel me? So, you know, whether it's my Twitch account getting banned and I lost all of the momentum I gained in the last 200 days, or whether it's all my music on Spotify being wiped out, I know I'm going to come back 10 times harder. Because the alternative is me giving up and living a life of misery. So, you know?
I feel like you might have already answered this, but what's a habit or mindset you have that's a non-negotiable for you building?
Just can't lie to yourself. You know what I mean? Don't lie to yourself. If you can say you're gonna do something, if you say in your mind you want to do something, you better do that thing. You feel me? Like I mentioned before, whether it's waking up early or whether it's saying I'm a post one time every single day this week, like you can't miss a day because you said it to yourself. Once you said it out loud, it's done. You feel me? You know if you lie to yourself, no one else is gonna know but you. You know, and you can't, you know, break the promise you have to yourself. You can break it with anyone else. I don't care. You can't break it. You know, you can't break it with yourself, bro. That's like you're the most important person. You know.
When you go live on Twitch, what's the feeling you're trying to create for people watching?
I want it to be entertaining for sure. You feel me? It's like I'm myself. I feel like I'm very authentic because I'm just being myself. I'm not trying to be anyone else.
Yeah.
But like it's like a switch that pops on. You feel me? Even kind of like doing this podcast right now. You know, like I'm still myself, but it's just like now you're in like a mode of like just talking. You know, in my streams I make a lot of music. So it's dope to see like. You know, I want to affect people. At the end of the day, I want to affect people's emotions in a positive way. You know, whether someone's going through a heartbreak, I want to make them feel better through my songs, or whether someone's feeling discouraged, I want to make them feel better with my words, you know? And I think the best goal anyone could have is not money or it's not personal notoriety, but it's legacy and inspiration, you know? And if you can inspire people, it gives you a mission that's much larger than yourself. It's going to allow you to keep going, and it's going to just give you a better feeling, you know, about everything you're doing. You're gonna be able to just keep going for a way longer amount of time.
Definitely. That was an interesting point you made, and I really liked it. But do you think streaming and content creation is more about talent or understanding people, or even just being yourself?
It's weird, bro, because like I feel like anyone could make it in streaming.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like anyone can make it in streaming, just the way that I feel like anyone can make it in music. I never delete any of my songs. So if you go to my SoundCloud, you could go to my first ever single and you'll hear that it's absolutely terrible. but I love it. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like I love it so much, but if you just heard it for the first time, you're gonna be like, this shit is ass. You know what I'm saying? But same thing with streaming, bro. You feel me? For the first 2 months, I was averaging 0.6 viewers. Like, I didn't even have one viewer. Twitch didn't even round that shit up for me. You feel me?
That's
So like
crazy.
I had 0.6 viewers, and I was terrible. But like anything in life, you can get good at with repetition. You feel me? I feel like there's that one Kanye interview. I don't know if you remember, but the interviewer was like, if you decided to quit music right now and become a basketball player in the NBA, do you think you could do it? And Kanye was like, yeah. And the interviewer was like, no, you can't. You can't. Like, why do you think you could do it? And Kanye's like, because I think I could do anything.
Yeah.
Literally. You know what I'm saying? And I like truly believe that. You feel me? Like if you wanted to stop doing what you're doing right now and become a millionaire off of trading stocks, like I 100% believe you could do that. You feel me? Because why not?
Definitely. It's something we could both agree on.
I didn't really answer your question, but
No.
the streaming stuff, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that's like the basis of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I feel like you could just figure it out and you can do it. You'll get better at it. It's just a skill. Like we can talk about like the specifics. Like you gotta like make sure everyone feels heard. You know what I mean? You gotta
Yeah.
make sure you interact with people. There's like a certain way of saying stuff to make people feel better. Like you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
When did you first get into music? What started that initial drive, I guess I would say, that initial interest of I want to make my own music? Because you said earlier on you wanted to be the first like Indian person that's really putting on the music game. What started that imagination and dream?
It all goes back to a girl.
It always does.
Yeah, nah, but for real, yeah, I mean, I started making music because of a girl, for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like the best music is made through heartbreak. And feel like the best music is made through like relationships and stuff. So yeah, I started making art because I felt terrible, and I feel like when you're going through a heartbreak, when you're going through something bad, ironically, it's the best time for you as an artist because you have a lot of energy. Whether it's really good energy or whether it's really bad energy, energy could be channeled, and energy
Yeah.
could be channeled into making beautiful art. So I remember making my first beat. And I remember like the process of making a beat was quite literally magic. Like that's why people say music is magic, because I'm like making it, and no matter how bad it sounded, which is why I said, my first single's out on SoundCloud that I ever released in 2018. It's terrible, but it means so much to me because every single instrument that's playing, every single vocal that is being sung reminds me of that love I had. You know what I'm saying? And all of my songs is literally just a document of that. And a lot of it is for love, a lot of it is for other stuff. But yeah, like that's what got me to fall in love with music. You feel me? So it's like, I'm doing all this stuff right now, but my love is for music, and I'll never stop because I genuinely love making it. And like, that's really it, bro. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
One thing I really want to go over, because a lot of people fail to see this within their own lives. The journey and the passion you have for music is what really matters. You know what I mean? Falling in love with the journey of making music, no matter how many people are listening, is what really matters, because one day you're going to turn around and you're going to have millions of listeners and you're going to have so many responsibilities, and you are wishing for the day you get there, and you might get there and be like, dang, I wish I could just go back where I'm in my mom's crib making music, nobody listening to it, and really just enjoying that. I think people overlook how important loving what you're doing and really having passion for the craft and the journey itself.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are doing stuff and they don't know why they're doing it. Like a lot of people, like streaming. A lot of people are streaming because they want the fame. They want the people noticing them. They want the girls, whatever the case may be. Like they want these things that don't really matter at the end of the day. You feel me? And the thing that's gonna give you longevity is actually having love for the game. Actually having love for what you're doing. I love talking to people and building a community, and working my hardest to inspire by example. Like I love doing it. The same way that I love making music. Not for anyone to hear, not for it to blow up and be in the top 100 or top 10, but it's because like if I didn't have to do anything else in the world, if I was financially free, if I was living on an island and no one else existed, I would still make music, So
If you could sum up your journey up until now in one lesson, what would that lesson be?
probably just why not you? Why not you?
If I asked you who Jadyn Violet really is beyond streaming, music, and social media, how would you answer?
I would say it's just the person that really believes that he can do it and is gonna do it. You
Mhm.
know, um, I feel like I'm an Indian guy who's making music and singing on hip hop beats,
Mhm.
and now is streaming, and it's really difficult. You feel me? And it's not what you would see.
Mhm.
It's not who you would imagine when it comes to someone winning, which is why I feel like I have to do it. I feel like there's a lot of brown people
Yeah.
who have these crazy things they want to do in music or content creation or creativity, and the
Mhm.
world tells them that they can't do it because of public perception, because of stereotypes.
Yeah.
And I just feel like we can. And I just feel like I have to prove that we can. So I want to be the example of that, one of the examples. I know there's a lot of people killing it, and I'm excited to just keep going regardless of the noise.
Mhm. That's amazing. I want to end it there because I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you have to go back and stream, but I gotta say, man, having this conversation with you has been inspiring. It's been motivating, and I thank you for coming by. I literally, I'm gonna pray for you, and I'm gonna be so proud when I see you at the top because I know there's great things coming for you, brother. Just keep pushing and keep doing exactly what you're doing because you're gonna kill it.
Hey, bro, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for having me, and it's gonna be fun to look back at this one. You know what I'm saying? So
Definitely.
I appreciate you,
Of course,
broski.
my dog.
Of course, bro. Fire.